So recently, Wizards of the Coast and their parent company Hasbro have decided to update their open gaming license. The backlash to this was so huge that they have since backpedaled, but it paints a very scary picture for the future of D&D. So I decided to make this video to explain what we can expect next and what we can do to stop this scary future from happening. So let's start with some context. What is the open gaming license? Basically, how it's been is that it's a license that allows third parties, such as myself, or big ones like Kobold Press, Critical Role, or the show Stranger Things, to use Dungeons & Dragons as a platform to create content and monetize it, so they can keep creating more content. In my opinion, it's the #1 reason why D&D has gotten so popular in the last decade. Apparently, making $1 billion last year was not good enough for the gray suits at Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, because a few days ago, an updated OGL was leaked, which would have basically ended all third-party contributions to the game, thus killing the culture that has sprung up from the game. If you want more details as to how the new OGL would have destroyed D&D, I suggest looking at the DM Layers video called WotC's Sinister OGL Scheme. I'll link it in the description below for you. For this video, however, I want to focus on what this document means for the future of D&D. Yes, the leaked OG was never put in place, but that doesn't change the fact that things might never be the same. The gray suits at corporate have revealed their future intentions. They will gladly destroy the culture that has sprung up around the game to stuff their pockets with more of our money. But the good news is they can only do this if they think that they can get away with it. As of now, they know they cannot get away with these broad, sweeping changes. The D&D community rallied and destroyed the updated OGL, but the fight isn't over yet. In the WotC response to the outrage, they revealed their intentions to not leave the OGL alone. They will be updating it, and it's going to be bad because of how they're probably going to play it out. My theory is that the next OGL will be a revised version of the leaked update that'll get people frustrated, but not outraged enough to do anything about it. Then, over the course of the next decade or so, they will continue adding little bits and pieces to the OGL until it looks nearly identical to the leaked update, or as close as they possibly can to maximize their profits. It's exactly like that thing where if you throw a frog into a boiling pot of water, it'll just jump out, but if you slowly turn the heat up on it, it stays and eventually dies. Yes, we are the frog in this metaphor. This is a very common practice among corporate types, so don't think it's too big of a stretch to assume that they'll try this approach. I really hope I'm wrong, but I've seen it happen before, and I know it's going to happen again. So what can we do about it? The best thing that we can do as the D&D community is to stop them from updating the OGL ever again, and have them publicly promise us that they'll leave it alone forever. How do we accomplish this? We have to speak the only language that gray suits understand: money. If they're going to try to demonetize us, we demonetize them. This can be accomplished fairly easily by simply not buying any of their products and convincing others to do the same until they deliver the before-mentioned promise. This can be accomplished by simply playing Pathfinder and other tabletop RPGs and avoiding Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro products. There are plenty of alternatives out there, and most of them were created by people who love the game and don't necessarily care about the profit as much. I'm even thinking about creating my own tabletop RPG for experienced players who like low fantasy setting, but I'll get into that at a later date. The important thing now is to spread the word and boycott Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro until they deliver the promise that they will never touch the OGL again, so we can keep adding to the game forever. So let's get out there and tell people. Go buy yourself a copy of Pathfinder and keep on gaming without those damn gray suits and their short-sighted bean counters. All right, have a good one, guys, and stay vigilant.